कृष्ण। यदि गौरना हयतो ताबे की हयतो प्रेमोने धरिता रे। यदि गौरना हयतो ताबे की हयतो प्रेमोने धरिता रे। राधार महिमा प्रेम राधा सीमा, राधार महिमा प्रेम रसा सीमा जगते जयत गे। यदि गौरा है तो ताबे की है तो प्रेमोने धरिता दे। माधुर्या दीपिना माधुरी प्रवेशा साधुरी तरा। माधुर्या दीपिना माधुरी प्रवेशा साधुरी तरा। राजा युवती भावेरा भक्ति, राजेरा युवती भावेरा भक्ति सकती है तो चरा। यदि गौरा ना है तो ताबे की है तो के मोने धरिता दे। राधार महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगते जयति रे। गावो गावो पूना गौरंगे राघुना, गावो गावो पूना गौरंगे राघुना सरला होती माना। ई भावा सागरे ये मोना दयाला, ई भावा सागरे ये मोना दयाला ना देखिए के जना। यदि गौरा ना है तो ताबे की है तो के मोने धरिता दे। राधार महिमा प्रेम रासा सीमा जगते जयत गे। गौरंगा बोलिया नागेनु गालिया के मोने धारिनु दे। गौरंगा बोलिया नागेनु गालिया के मोने धारिनु दे। देवासुरिया पाजाना दिया के मोने धरिया छे। ए देवासुरिया पाजान दिया के मोने धरिया छे। यदि गौरा ना है तो ताबे की है तो के मोने धरने दे। राधा महिमा प्रेम रसा सीमा जगते जयत गे। यदि गौरा ना है तो ताबे की है तो के मोने धरिता दे। हरे कृष्ण।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रतां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं स हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च परितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। अष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतं सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिनि नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजाङ्घ्रिये नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतिसे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणाम्। ओम पवित्र पवित्र वा सर्वावस्थमर्भव्य यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं सा बाह्य अभ्यन्तरं शुचि श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु। Let me share my screen. So I welcome you everybody for your today's Sunday's Bhagavatam class. I'm very grateful for you for giving me an opportunity to speak something about Bhagavatam. Though I am not qualified, in this attempt, if I have made any mistakes or committed any offenses, please forgive me. It is only due to my false ego. If anything good that is that I spoke, it is all the credit to the senior devotees and the acharyas. Similarly, in the last session, I am following the same similar template as the last session. I will be sticking to the Prabhupada's purpose mostly. So today we will be seeing the departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka. Yesterday we have seen the departure of Ishmadev, where Mahalinga Prabhu has elaborately explained. Today we'll see about the departure. After that, Krishna starts his departure towards Dwarka because his task is finished. His task with the Pandavas is finished. Now he has to leave for Dwarka. So what happens in this? We will see today. So the first three slokas describe about the plan behind the universe. What is the plan? Why this universe is being created? So we'll discuss on this. Saunakam vacha hatva swarikta sprudha atatyano yudhishthiro dharma pratam parishita sahanuja प्रत्यावार्धा भोजना कथं प्रवर्तन किम आकर्षित तथा Shaunaka Muni asked, after killing his enemies who desired to usurp his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all religious men, Maharaj Yudhishthira, assisted by his brothers, rule his subjects? Surely he could not freely enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. As we have seen when Arjuna asked the same similar question to Krishna, so he doesn't want to fight with his cousins. He says, I better go and beg and become a mendicant rather than fighting my kinsmen. What is the use what is the use of enjoyment if brothers are killed? Arjuna expressed to Krishna, but the same feeling is there with the Yudhishthira Maharaj. So similarly, the Saunaka Rishis are asking, Maharaj Yudhishthira also did not want this fight to happen because he is Dharmaraj. He holds the greatest of all religions. He is a man of religion. Thus, he was not inclined to fight with his cousins for the sake of enjoying. That's like similar to Arjuna. So here, Saunakas were eager. Yes, the war is finished. All the Kauravas were dead. Everything is now Yudhishthira is the kingdom. Yudhishthira made the king. So how he is enjoying? Is he really enjoying, or what is his consciousness? That was the question of Saunaka. He therefore ruled over the kingdom as a matter of duty. Prabhupada explains. It's a matter of duty. So he took the help of the younger brothers. It's a duty, but he is not trying to enjoy the kingdom. Similarly, we are also given certain positions and leadership roles, either in office or in the satsangs. We are given leadership positions by the mercy of Lord Krishna. We don't deserve it, but still we perform the duties. We perform the activities as a matter of duty, only for the satisfaction of Krishna. So Yudhishthira knows that Krishna wants him to be king. Otherwise, there is no point in becoming king. So this we have to take in. Whenever we are doing service, we are all doing service, we have to see whether Krishna is happy or not. Not that we are happy or not. It's a matter of duty. The inquiry was important for Saunaka Rishi, who wanted to know about the behavior of Maharaj Yudhishthira when he was at ease to enjoy the kingdom. Now he is a ruler. Nobody can question him whether he is enjoying or not. That's what Shaunakas were eager to know about. Then Suta Maharshi says, Suta Goswami said, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the maintainer of the world, became pleased after re-establishing Maharaj Yudhishthira in his own kingdom and after restoring the Kuru dynasty, which had been exhausted by the bamboo fire of anger. So as we regularly sing, Samsara Dava Nalinina Loka. This is a place of, this samsara is a place of forest fire. How does a fire happen in the forest? Just simply by rubbing of the bamboo. When the bamboo sticks rub, it generates friction and heat is generated and suddenly starts fire. There is no extra requirement. Similarly, we are like bamboo sticks. There is no external cause required. The friction between the two people is causing fire of material existence. So this forest compares to fire. Such forest fire takes place automatically. The bamboo cohesion occurs without external cause. So after everything has happened, what is the Krishna's desire? So here Prabhupada explains the desire of Krishna. What is Krishna wanting us to do? He wants to maintain the creation. So there is a material creation. He wants to do that. So we can understand by saying that perpetually this material world exists. There is no wrapping here. There are people who stay always in the material world, or who wishes to come to the material world. So he has a desire to maintain the creation. He desires the mass of people to follow the right path. So Krishna wants us to follow the self-realization. Who we are, who are you? That's what we have to seek. The Lord wants the suffering human beings to come back home, back to Him, and cease to suffer the threefold material pangs. So we are all conditioned by three modes of material nature. Karanam Guna Sangasya. So we are seeing all these things because of interacting with three modes, Rajo, Tamo, and Sattva Guna. And we are perpetually suffering. This place is a place of suffering. Dukhalayam Ashaswatam. Bhagavad Gita 13.8 says, Krishna is our father. He doesn't want us to suffer actually. So that's why time and again he comes here to reclaim all of us. So that is one of the criteria, one of the concern which Krishna is saying. The Lord wants his bona fide. The Lord wants his bona fide representative to rule the world. Even the Prabhupada says, one day there will be a situation where the High Court judge will come, Supreme Court judge will come with tilak on his face. So the rulers, there are leaders we are generating. That Krishna wants this kingdom to be ruled by a bona fide representative, like Maharaj Yudhishthira. Similarly, in the Kali Yuga also, in the golden age of the Kali Yuga, golden period of Kali Yuga, Krishna also wants the bona fide devotee to rule each and every country. The Lord was therefore, so these are all are going to happen because it's the desire of Krishna, and devotees are there to fulfill the desires of Krishna. Whether we are participating in that or not, we have to see. That's all. But the desire is going to happen. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, these names will be spread across the whole world, nook and corner of the entire world. And Prabhupada has come and he has glorified. We can see every small village, like even the farthest village in South Africa, they were chanting the holy names. This is the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it is being fulfilled. Similarly, Krishna desires it will get fulfilled. One day we can see the leader is a Krishna conscious devotee. The Lord was therefore fully satisfied with King Yudhishthira was on the throne and seedling of the King dynasty in the person of Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Yudhishthira, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishma Dev and Lord Sri Krishna, the infallible engaged himself in the matters of perfect knowledge because all his misgivings were eradicated. Thus he ruled over the earth and seas and was followed by his younger brother. Just like before, Krishna taking Yudhishthira to Bhishma Dev. Yudhishthira did not want to rule the kingdom. He was unhappy because he was feeling there is a feel of guilt because he might be involved because he is the cause of the entire destruction. Krishna takes to Bhishma Dev, and Bhishma Dev, we have seen everything. What Bhishma Dev speaks to Maharaj Yudhishthira, and Krishna also speaks to Yudhishthira. Then Yudhishthira was convinced. After getting convinced, he started ruling with the help of his younger brothers. So we can see that law of inheritance, which is the property inheritance, is being followed since time immemorial. And it followed till the age of Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Yudhishthira was the ideal king or representative Lord Krishna to rule over the kingdom and was comparable to King Indra. So, as we all know, King Indra performed 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. After performing Ashwamedha Yajnas, Indra was positioned there. But how many Ashwamedha Yajnas did Yudhishthira do? Only one. Only one Ashwamedha Yajna Yudhishthira did in his own lifetime. But he is comparable to King Indra. Why? Because he is completely dedicated to Krishna. He is completely dedicated to Krishna. This is his own qualification. So, doing so many things, we cannot do Ashwamedha Yajnas in this Kali Yuga. But when we are starting chanting the holy names, when we are starting surrender to Krishna, we are equally comparable to Krishna, Indra. That doesn't mean that, oh, we are great. Oh, today I have become Indra. It doesn't mean that we can criticize all others who are not chanting. But see the benefit of following the Krishna consciousness. Immediately within this body, we can experience the heavenly. So it is instructed in the Shastras that one should follow the great authority and infallible Lord without any personal motive and manufactured ideology. Prabhupada says we have to follow the parampara, authoritative system. The Guru parampara. Evam paramparam partam evam rajasi viduru. Sakalina mahata yogo nasta parantam. This is it. So this is coming in the chain of disciplic succession. The great kings has learned in this way, similarly. So this is what Krishna says, and Prabhupada says, and all the bona fide Acharya said, we have to follow the authority. So when we follow authority, there is no personal agenda. I like this service, so I do it. No. When a Guru Maharaj asks, do this service, though we don't like it, though we are incapable of doing it, we have to do it. Complete surrender. So when we are convinced that this is my Guru Maharaj, our intelligence should work only when how to fulfill that Maharaj's instructions. Our intelligence should work only in deciding how to follow the Maharaj's instructions, not that whether I like this seva or not. So without any personal agenda, ahvatike apratihata, we have to do that. There is no manufactured ideology. It's my own ideology. No. How the parampara is coming? Yes, we can add here and there our personal experiences. We can add personal experience. The examples are also given by Prabhupada. We take the examples and make it suitable for the current case. That we can do, but not that we can modify anything. There's 4 regulative principles. We have no compromise on it. The chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, there is no compromise on it. But how do we explain to others? That's up to love. But we should not say that Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati gave 64, Prabhupada has given 16. I'm saying do 8. No, we don't have the authorities to say that only do 8. Ultimately, we have to all chant 16 rounds because Prabhupada has said that. An imperfect human being cannot create an ideology acceptable to everyone. This is the reason. We are all under the 3 modes of material nature. We are not a liberated person. We are not yet surrendered. We are in the process of surrendering. So we can see our material laws. There are so many flaws in that. There are loopholes. People will leave loopholes for that. Because we are imperfect. Only person who can create laws is Krishna. Krishna's to Bhagwan's side. The rest has to implement that law or propagate that law. Only the perfect and infallible can create a program which is applicable at every place. It can be followed by all in the world. If person is perfect, then the government is perfect. Similarly, if a person, what is the government? Government is made of some person. If the head of the government is perfect, then everyone is perfect. Government is perfect. Everything is perfect. So therefore, the executive head must be trained person like Maharaj Yudhishthira, and he must have the full autocratic power to rule over the world. Then in the next few slokas, the next 4 to 5 slokas, we can see the civilization. How advanced our civilization was. It was an advanced civilization. It is based on land and cows. Earlier also we had that lands. People were allowed to acquire that lands. To get that land, put a cow shelter, plow, get the plant, get the crops. That was the culture. What did Nanda Maharaj do? How many cows he had? Lakhs and lakhs. The cows were so happy that the milk started flowing out. There's an enormous amount of milk, not like today. Because today's cows are not happy with us. When a cow is happy, it gives a lot of milk. That entire place in the Vrindavan filled with cow milk. There are so many varieties of cows. That was how glorious our civilization was. But as age progressed, we do not know the importance of the cow, and our economic our development has come down. We say we are developing. Rather we were developed country, but we are degrading now. During the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, clouds showered all the water that people needed, and earth produced all the necessities of man in profusion. Due to its fatty milk bag and cheerful attitude, the cow used to moisten the grazing ground with milk. So many liters. So to sustain the human beings, yes, we require cow milk, food grains, and some minerals. That is not sufficient for all of us. The whole balanced diet, if we see, people talk about balanced diet and balanced diet. The simple balanced diet is food grains, fruits, milk, minerals, some clothing, some basic necessities are there. This is what is sufficient for our life. But for the artificial sense gratification to show off that I have so many properties, so many villas, so much cars, so much, etc., etc. We are struggling in our offices on a daily basis, daily activities. Ultimately, we are all unhappy. When we have simple life, Prabhupada says, simple living and high thinking. We should have both simple living and high thinking. That's what Prabhupada is explaining, the basic principle of economic development. Today, people talk about economic development, GDPs. How does it happen? Economic development, because on the land house. Otherwise, there is no development, no real development. So, in the name of development, we are closing the agricultural farms, we are closing the lakes, and constructing so many apartments. So what is the use of such apartments when there is no food to eat? What are we going to eat? Money? Today's development means constructs big high-rise apartments. That is not actually development. The rainfalls are not in the control of the human being. This is a heavenly king Indra. Indra has to give the rains. How does Indra get pleased? When we please his master. What is Indra doing? He's serving Krishna. When we serve Krishna, Indra is also pleased. He shower rains. That's why in today's world, today's age and time, we see rains are coming, but not in the proper time or not in the proper quantity. Why? Because our so-called kings are not Krishna conscious people. They are encouraging meat slaughterhouses. From where does that prosperity come? So when our king is like Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, there is no scarcity. So when we see Bhagavad, when we read Bhagavatam, when advent of Prithu Maharaj, this world stopped giving food grains. And Prithu has ran behind the cow and milked it and got all the provisions. Then what does the cow say? Why should I give? Why should I give to these selfish people? They are not sacrificing anything for Krishna. Why should I give them the grains? Why should I give them the milk? That's what. When we want this community to flourish, civilization to flourish, land and cows should be there. Especially the cows should be happy. That comes only when we become the devotees. What is the need of what is the need of an artificial luxurious life of cinemas, cars, radios, flesh, and hotels? Can this civilization produce anything but quarreling individually or nationally? We can see border tensions, two countries fighting, Two big nations fighting. We are creating so many atomic bombs because we are unsecure. We feel that we are unsecure. Why is it coming? Why is it happening? So when we are developing, when we are a developing country, when our growth is increasing, then what is the use of these tensions? Nobody of us are happy. We are all quarreling. We are quarreling at home. We are quarreling in the communities. We are quarreling in the nations. And just say what is happening because of this? We are taking the same tendency in satsangs. We are quarreling among the devotees. Krishna is not pleased with that. We are having the same tendency in the spiritual world. We think that we are progressing in spirituality, but we are not thinking whether what is the status of my ego. So this association is very rare. We have to preserve whatever we have. There are lakhs of people outside, but few tens and thousands of people in the communities, devotee community. But we are fighting among the devotees. This is an unfortunate situation. That's why Prabhupada says, in the last instruction Prabhupada has given to all of us, please cooperate. That is the instruction which Prabhupada has left to all of us. We might have differences in the way we serve, but we have to cooperate with all of us. Every one of us has some kind of ego. We are all on a spiritual journey. We have switched off our fans. That doesn't mean that it has stopped immediately. We have to cooperate. Has the civilization enhanced the cause of equality and fraternity by sending thousands of men into hellish factories and warfields? It's of a particular man. What has this civilization given to all of us? This we have to question. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that Lord himself is the seed-giving father, and the material nature is the mother of all living beings. Thus, mother material nature has enough foodstuffs. Mother has enough food for all her children. Doesn't say no mother will say that one child gets more share and the other doesn't get. We all have it. Our own foodstuff, our own requirements. This material nature is going to give. It is said that this earth has sufficient for everyone's need, but not for one man's need. It cannot sustain for one man's greed. How many people are greedy these days? Every one of us are greedy. Fortunately, we are in this association and we understood that greed is not, this is not good. But what about the others? Human being is the elder brother of all other living beings. This point I like the most. Prabhupada says, we are all elder brothers. To whom? To the animals, to the plants, to the dependents. As an elder brother, what we have to do? We have to protect our younger ones, those who are dependent. That is not what our nature is. That's not our responsibility is. How are we going to protect? By giving knowledge. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Spread this message to the entire world. They will get benefited. So whenever we get a chance, let's just glorify Krishna in whatever way we can, in offices, whatever way. There is no required that we put so many things. Yes, that's also one way. But by our way of interaction, Yadyad Achareti Sreshtas. People outside are looking towards us. People are looking. I have faced these things in my office. Whenever there is a problem, they sometimes come to me. What should I do? How should I behave in this way? But I try to. I'm trying, but I'm not perfect. But I'm trying to say balance between based on Bhagavad Gita and their current situation. People are looking to all of us. So we have a responsibility to protect their faith by following ourselves. He is endowed with intelligence more powerful than animals for realizing the course of nature and indications of the Almighty Father. The rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, active drugs, In every season, pays their tax quota to the king. So here a beautiful analogy is given. The tree is everything. They are paying the taxes. So earlier, the kings were allowed to collect taxes. So what tax these things are giving? Ocean is giving water. Trees are giving the medicines in return. Every element in the nature is giving something to the welfare of the kingdom. We are also supposed to give some taxes for the welfare of the kingdom, like money, etc., etc. The secret of success is to take refuge. Prabhupada said, you have to take shelter of the protection of the Supreme Lord. Without a sanction, nothing is going to happen. It is going to be possible. So we think that we are intelligent. Where does intelligence comes? Matta Smritir Gnanam Apohanamcha. Everything is coming from Krishna. So we have to take shelter of Krishna, and we are the only one to get benefited. The ultimate cause of success is Daiva, the Supreme. This is the ultimate success. Rest, everything is not successful. The success of human being means becoming Krishna conscious, following Sarva Dharmana Paritijya principle. Are we surrendered to Krishna? Are we dependent on Krishna? Lilananda Prabhu, almost in every class, if you see, he focuses on dependence on Krishna. Are we really dependent on Krishna? At least I am not. I see so many people are advancing. The nature, why they are advancing in this spiritual way? Because they are completely dependent on Krishna. So those who are dependent on Krishna, they are successful in spiritual life. So kings like Maharaj Yudhishthira knew perfectly well the king is the agent of the Supreme Lord. King should be a representative. So king is like a god. So today's slogan is that everything is for people, by the people, for the people, of the people. This is what our constitution says. Communalism and capitalism. Prabhupada says there are two kinds of people today: communalism and capitalism. Both of them are not happy. Communalism people says we are producing, so we have the right to enjoy. Capitalism, they say we have to enjoy our senses. Purchase and enjoy. Both of them will not be happy. Then who will be happy? Communalism not happy, capitalism not. Then who will be happy? Only spiritualist. Prabhupada says only spiritualist will be happy. Yes? Falls under communalism or capitalism. That's what Krishna said. The artificial way of living depending on factories and tools can render so-called happiness only to a limited number of costs of millions. The factories we set up, the constructions which you do, certainly will give happiness. We all look for happiness. SSR session 1, in search of happiness. So every living entity is looking for happiness. Satchitananda, they're all part and parcel of the same Satchitananda Krishna. Naturally, when we do any activity, we look for happiness. If I give you a task and say this is going to give misery to you, are you ready to accept? No. None of us are going to accept it. So we go for job in that thinking that it gives me happiness. We all get married thinking that we all get happiness. We all do so many activities thinking that we want happiness. Nobody wants this suffering. So the so-called, but we are doing it in a wrong way. It's not wrong to be happy, but we are doing it in a wrong way. The constructions, all the artificial way is very wrong. We must look into the defects of a modern civilization by comparison here. Should follow the footsteps of Maharaj Yudhishthira to cleanse. So how Maharaj Yudhishthira was completely dependent on Krishna. He was always Krishna conscious. So when we also have to follow the footsteps. So we should not imitate them. We cannot imitate Arjuna. We cannot imitate Yudhishthira. But we definitely we can follow them. What they are saying, how they are rendering their services. So Yudhishthira says to Krishna, you go and talk to them. Whatever you decide is okay for me. Whether Krishna says no war or war, I'm okay with you. You go. He was completely dependent. Because of the kings having no enemy, the living beings were not at any time disturbed by mental agonies, diseases, or excessive heat or cold. Because the king has no enemy, Achata Satrava. So he doesn't have no a devotee doesn't have any enemies. So, but today we are having so many diseases like corona, some different pandemics are coming. Summer is very hot. Even winter is hot today nowadays. Winter is hot. There is no rain in the rainy season. Everything is here and there. The entire cycle of nature has disturbed because our so-called our kings have enemies. They are not devotees. That's why we are facing all the situations. To be non-violent to human beings and to be killer of enemy, killer or enemy of the poor is Satan. So I love all my people. I love the nation, but I allow slaughterhouses. This is Satan philosophy or Satan philosophy, demonic philosophy. King should treat each and every living entity has his or her own child, whether it's a plant or animal. This is a child of the king. But now we say only human beings are my praja. No. The reaction of poor animals. So where does this poor animals agony go? Who will take the pain of the poor animals, the slaughterhouses? Definitely the nature is going to retaliate on all of us. There is a proverb in Bengal that bad king spoils the kingdom and a bad housewife spoils the family. There is a saying. Is a bad there is the leader should be very perfect. If the leader is like a king, like a lion, it can lead the pack of dogs into lion. You can convert a dog into a lion. But if the king is like a dog, all the people who are like a lion will face the death of a dog. It is said. So how the leader is. The leader of the kingdom is the king, and leader of the family is the housewife. How does a housewife should be there? She holds families together. Two families. The child she gives, if the housewife is not proper, it destroys 100 generations. Is it? That's what Arjuna speaks in the first chapter. People, Varna Shankarans will come. So that is the greatest responsibility. That's what Krishna is Prabhupada is explaining. So each and every one of us have a definite role, a very important role. Unless one is pious and recognized by the Lord, he cannot make others happy who are under his care. That is the importance of Krishna consciousness. Sri Hari, Lord Sri Krishna, resided at Hastinapur for a few months to pacify his relatives and please his own sister. So then Krishna started to depart from Hastinapur. Afterwards, when the Lord asked permission to depart and the king gave it, the Lord offered his respects to Maharaj Yudhishthira by bowing down at his feet, and the king embraced him. After this, Lord, being embraced by others and receiving their obeisances, got into his chariot. So, when we see here, superficially, if we see, Krishna is going to Yudhishthira. Krishna is asking permission. Can I leave? Can I leave to Dwaraka? Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is Bhagavan. Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. So he is making laws, everything. He has kept Yudhishthira there. Krishna is going down. Krishna is playing the part of a human being. He has come here to show, not only establish Dharma, but how to follow Dharma. So he said, Sarva Dharman Parideja Mameke Sarvana Praja. And Krishna left this planet 5,000 years ago. Then when he went, it said, oh, I have given the instruction, Sarva Dharma, then how these people will follow? He came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he showed himself that this is how we have to follow the duties. So Krishna, whenever he comes, he sets an example. The same sloka, if I do wrong, people will follow me and they become wrong. That is the only reason. He is coming here as a cousin of Yudhishthira. So by age, you see, by age also, material age, Yudhishthira is elder to Krishna. And also he is the king. King is superior. Everyone should follow the orders of the superiors. So to show that Krishna has bowed down before Yudhishthira and asked permission. Not takes pleasure. It's also a pleasure. Krishna wants to become the child of Yashoda. Child. He doesn't want to become elder. He wants to become chastised. This is Damodar month. Yashoda Mata is chasing with a stick. Krishna loves that. Krishna doesn't want to do earth. Yes, we have to do till love comes. But the gopis, they don't know that Krishna is God. That is Yogamaya potency, though. Krishna wants that loving exchanges. The loving exchanges with Yudhishthira is also loving exchange which is happening. Though he is an elder, he is going down. No one is greater than and equal to Lord, but he takes pleasure being treated as younger than his devotees. So after that, Bhima and Arjuna being equal level of same age, he embraced. So with when we are with superiors, we have to bow down before the superiors. We have to embrace our equals, and we have to bless our younger ones. So similarly, you see the analogy. Narada Muni was also doing same. I think Narada Muni was also seeing the same thing. We have to take guidance from the superiors. We have to share with our equals. We have to pass it on to the younger ones. So how do we get knowledge from elder ones? When we bow, when we respect them. So when we discuss with our equals, when we exchange communication with our equals, our both knowledge increases. And not only that, dependents, lower people who are looking for us, we have to give that knowledge. That's what you can see in this purport. Through Krishna's actions, we can learn from all these things. Next few slokas, 5 slokas, discuss about a separation from Krishna is intolerable. Just like when we heard about Akrura, the Akrura story when we had discussed, Akrura was taking Krishna to Mathura. Then how did gopis react? They called Krishna, you are hard-hearted, Krishna. You have associated with Akrura, who is hard-hearted. And he's taking away. They were scolding all the elders. What are you doing? Krishna is not going to come back. You are all going to die without Krishna. Without Krishna, it is death for them. This is the feeling of separation of Krishna. That's also explained here. At that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Yudhsu, Kripacharya, Nakula, Sahadeva, Bhimasena, Daumya, Satyavati, all nearly fainted because it was impossible for them to bear separation from Krishna. They could not think, just like our loved ones when they leave. We go to our mother's house on vacation. When vacation is over and we are coming back to resume our work, how does the mother feel? She said, stay for 2 more days. She cannot think that, she cannot tolerate that one. Similarly, when Krishna is leaving, they are feeling thousands and thousand times the feelings of separation. Lord Sri Krishna is so attractive for the living beings. especially for the devotees, for them to tolerate. It is impossible. So, His Grace Rajesh Prabhu in one of his lectures says, we cannot understand this feeling because we did not experience this. We cannot understand. Feeling of such separation cannot be described because we not. How many of us are feeling separation from Krishna? To be called as a devotee, we need to feel separation from Krishna. Are we? No, we are not feeling that. We are feeling separation from our loved ones, but we are not feeling separation from Krishna. So that is the qualification of a devotee. The feeling of separation cannot be described because, but it can be simply imagined by devotees only. Just like if you hear the story of Akrura taking away Krishna from Mathura. After his separation from Vrindavan, and innocent rural cowboys, girls, ladies, and others felt shocked. The thunder inside their heart revival came out loudly. There is, of course, a difference in qualities of transcendental devotees of the Lord, but none of them who have ever contacted the Lord by direct communion or otherwise can leave him. That is the attitude. Once a devotee is in contact with Krishna, externally he may feel pain of separation. The pain of separation is also enjoyment for a devotee. Serving in union and serving in separation. So Prabhupada, one devotee asked to Prabhupada, how can I serve you? I am not getting your association directly. Prabhupada says, it doesn't matter whether you are associated physically with me or not. You should be associated with my instruction, Babu and Vani. The devotee, after so many years, after Prabhupada has left, when he served Prabhupada's instructions, he felt that he is far more attached to Prabhupada. Though Prabhupada was not there in this planet, by following his instruction, he could feel that attachment from Prabhupada, association of Prabhupada. Similarly, we may think that I am not interacting directly with my Guru Maharaj, my Gurudev, but my devotees. Following their instructions make us to be close to them. There is a feeling of separation. So we should know serve in separation. This is a key verse 1, 10, and 12, 11, and 12. Satsanga. The power of association is again mentioned here. Intelligent, who have understood the Supreme Lord in association with the pure devotees and have become freed from bad materialistic association, can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. How then could the Pandavas tolerate his separation? For they had been intimately associated with his person, seeing him face to face, touching him, conversing with him, and sleeping, sitting, dining with him. So this is what every living entity, a constitutional position, we are all serving that Supreme Lord Krishna. We are all eternally the servants of Jivera Sarupa Hoi, Krishnera Nityadas. But what are we thinking? We are not, we are forgot that. We are forgot our identity. We are in illusion. So what happened because of illusion? We are serving Maya. Maya is forcing all of us to serve. We cannot say that I am not serving Krishna, I am not serving Maya. Doesn't happen. Either we serve Krishna or we serve Maya. So what does serving Maya mean? What does serving Maya mean? Serving our senses. Actually, we are with our senses, we have to serve Krishna, but we have become servant of our senses. Prabhupada says, if you don't serve God, we'll serve dog. Don't serve God, we serve God. Dog. This is Maya forces us. Even though we are tired of serving our senses, sometimes we say, it is enough. It is enough of my senses to be served. But still, we serve our senses. This is the power of mind. Until and unless we don't serve Krishna. This is the result. When we serve Maya, what happens? we become entangled as there is no end to such enjoyment. We think that if my craving goes, okay, I'm free. I have a tendency to eat. If I eat now, the desire is gone. No. So it's in Bhagavad Gita it said, we are pouring ghee into that fire. Will the fire come down? No. Starts blazing. If we try to satisfy our senses, it becomes a blazing fire. Our senses get increased. Then what happens? We go on serving, and become entangled. All this material society, all the friendship, material friendships, all the material love which we see are different forms of lust only. Lust is I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy materially. I. The real love is loving Krishna. Rest everything is lust. The solution to this, you can see, Prabhupada says, association with the pure devotees. Sadhu Sangha. What happens with the association of pure devotees? In the association of pure devotees, we hear submissively. So when we are all in satsangs, what we have to do? We have to hear Krishna Katha. We have to speak Krishna Katha. So the same tendency of gossiping comes in our satsangs, in many of the satsangs. But those who are sincerely and attentively hearing to whatever the speaker is going to say, that person will progress in that. So the goal of satsang is to hear submissively from Krishna, hear and serve. Then what happens? All our attachment for material enjoyment becomes weakened. So people will say, I am sinful, I am fallen, let me purify myself. Forget about all those things. Forget about all our contaminations. Don't think that we are eliminating them. That will happen automatically. Our goal is to link with Krishna. Our focus. Ekaha Kurunandana. Focus all on Krishna. Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Amekam Saranam Vacha, Amtam Sarva Bhavya Moksha. Our duty is to surrender to Krishna, not to clear sins, not to clear material attachments. So when we are progressing in bhakti, automatically the material things start to go, provided we let them. Let Krishna act on all of us. That is their surrender. Krishna has started working on all of us. Let us allow him to work by allowing him. He has given certain plans for us, we'll do it. That is surrender. So then what? Automatically material attachments go away and attraction for hearing the Lord increases. Initially, we don't have attachment for hearing. Only in the association. In the previous 7th chapter also we discussed. Only the association which gives us the faith. The faith comes in association. Then we start hearing. Then we start progressing on bhakti. Slowly our bhakti increases. This cycle perpetually continues. So what happens? The progress of bhakti, when we progress in bhakti, our attraction to the Lord increases. Our attraction towards the Lord increases. Then our natural constitutional position starts to come. Is our service to Krishna. That's one fundamental thing is association of the devotees. That is what the entire Bhagavatam says. Hari, the personality of God is so transcendently attractive that even those who are self-satisfied by self-realization are factually liberated from all material. So many of us are standing 16 rounds. So how did we go to 16 rounds? Not by day one. So slowly we started increasing. Our attraction started. We are all regularly attending Bhagavatam class. We are all attending satsangs. So how does this come coming? We are all, because material attachments are coming down. So we are all attached to Krishna Katha. We are attached to chanting. If we are so much attached to Krishna, our attachment is increased towards Krishna. What to speak of devotees like Yudhishthira, Arjuna? Think about that. If I am attached, the fallen soul like us attached to Krishna Katha, then what is the stage of the devotees like Arjuna? Yesterday, Krishna is leaving them. Painful it will be. And it is easily to understand what must have been the position of the Pandavas who were constant companions of the Lord. So Kunti's prayers. Kunti said, give me all the problems because in the problem only I can remember you. If you go away, what is the, I cannot remember you. Then what is the point of living? The Kunti's prayers. All their hearts were melting for him to on the pot of attraction. They looked at him without blinking their eyes and they moved hither and thither in perplexity. Because Krishna is all attractive. Krishna is Sarva Akarshiti Krishna. Nobody can leave, nobody can turn away from Krishna. But that's what they are looking. Without any blink. Krishna is living now. Whether I don't know whether I will get a chance again or not in this life. This is the consciousness of the people in Hastinapur. So they were relishing Krishna's beauty through their eyes. Once this relation is slightly revived, the conditioned soul at once becomes free from illusion of material energy, becomes mad after the association. So slight revival also is beneficial because it has a cascading effect. It gets on increasing. One day we are all going to become mad after Krishna. Presently we are not mad, but somehow we are attached to Krishna. This association is made possible not only by personal contact with the Lord, but also by association, his name. Namna Makari Bauda Nija Sarva Sakti. Krishna need not be present physically before all of us. Krishna is there in his name, in his fame, in his form. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma Karmacha Me Divyam Yoveti Tatvata. So Krishna comes in this material world and performs his Leela so that we are all getting attracted towards the Leela. Krishna need not be present, personally present there. So we have made out that for Arjuna and for Pandavas, Krishna is there. For who is there for me? Krishna is there in his all these features, name, fame, form, etc. Krishna is there in Bhagavatam. Krishna is there in the association of devotees. Krishna is there in the Paramatma. Krishna is coming as Acharya. We can see this. We cannot feel separation from Krishna. Krishna is actually close to all of us. Srimad Bhagavatam trains is conditioned soul to this stage of perfection for submissive hearing from a pure devotee. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So understand the importance of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam gives it. As I said, the Bhakti Charu, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj was saying, if you want to know Krishna, if you want to know what attached to Krishna, only two books are sufficient. Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Two are sufficient for all of us. No need of other things. We are attached to these two, we are attached to Krishna. That's all. So Maharaj was saying that. So here we can see the spiritual atmosphere. What does a spiritual world look like? Seeing here, I cannot see what is there in the upper planets of spiritual world. Here, Rishis are giving. Suta Goswami is saying, what does the spiritual atmosphere look like? The female relatives whose eyes were flooded with tears out of anxiety for Krishna came out of the palace. They could stop their tears only with great difficulty. They feared that tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure. What are the ladies are doing? They are crying, but they are not letting tears come out because they thought that if they cry, it becomes inauspicious for Krishna. Right? Bring misfortune for Krishna. They were thinking the welfare of Krishna. So all the people who are in the spiritual world, what they are doing, they are always anxious for serving Krishna, for making Krishna happy. Krishna doesn't want, nobody wants Krishna to be in misfortune. So whenever a demon attacks Vrindavan, what is Yashoda Mata doing? She's always praying to Vishnu for the protection of Krishna, praying to Narasimhadev for the protection of Krishna. The mood of Rajavasis, mood of a devotee. So that's what they are doing. That's the spiritual world. They are restraining from Christ. They are suffering inside, but not showing it outside. Directly or indirectly, anyone who thinks of Krishna, talks of Krishna, or worship Krishna becomes attached. So when Bhagavad Gita, what is it said? Contemplation. So when we are contemplating on that, we start acting on it. There is a whole chain. So if we are contemplating on the material objects, our distractions will fall into the material pool. Third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, when we think about Krishna, when we talk about Krishna, when we always remember Krishna, we'll automatically get attached to him. Just like a lover gets attached to the beloved. But the thinking, similarly, when we think of Krishna, when we hear about Krishna, we'll attach to him. Our intimate relation with Krishna can be confidentially revived by our talking of, hearing of, or remembering. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. That's what Upa says again. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. It is so done due to spiritual potency. Krishna is one. Matta Smriti Jnana opposes. Krishna is one who is going to give all the spiritual intelligence. Radharani is going to give. While the Lord was departing from the palace of Hastinapur, different types of drums like Mridanga, Bola, Nagara, Dunduri, and flutes of different types, the Veena, Gomukha, Beri, so different musical instruments, but played for the satisfaction of Krishna. Out of a loving desire to see the Lord, the royal ladies of the Kurus got up to the top of the palace, and smiling affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon. So the important quality of a woman is being mentioned here. What is that? This shyness. Shyness is the important ornament of a woman, not like necklaces or all these things, golden items. The most beautiful ornament of a woman is her shyness. Shyness is a particular extra beauty of the fair sex. It commands respect. Even today, if a woman is having that shyness, she commands respect. Prabhupada was saying his own experience, how a ordinary sweeper outside, he had a shyness. He demanded, automatically respect comes. But today, in Kali Yuga, we don't see that. Women are losing their important ornament. That's why the entire mishappening is happening. We all know there's no need to explain. There is no respect for women. That's what Krishna is saying, Prabhupada is saying. If the shyness which woman has, it should be protected. That's why in the olden days, women are not allowed to freely mix with the devotee, with men. They're not allowed to mix freely. It's called parda system. Parda means not the physical veil on top. Parda means having restricted interaction between the opposite genders. Prabhupada says, yes, fire is purifying. Fire is what is required. Fire is all good. Butter itself is also good. Butter gives strength. Individually, both are good. Both are having great qualities. But when fire comes in contact with butter, what happens? Butter gets melted and fire starts blazing. Only when they require to come together, they are allowed to come together. When you want to prepare ghee, you take butter and put in the fire, then ghee comes out. Otherwise, butter should be separate and fire should be separate. So both the genders are equally good, but there should be a restricted interactions. When Prabhuji is interacting with Mataji, one should have a proper respect. Even in the devotional circles, we should not become alone. We should not counsel opposite gender in alone. That's what many of the acharyas are saying. So because we are in devotional circle doesn't mean that we can freely move. Doesn't happen. We may fall down any time. The material beauty of the woman is an illusion because this beauty, material beauty is nothing but the beauty of the body. Why does the beauty of the body coming? Because of the presence of a soul inside. Without the soul, that body, though it's white color or whatever color it is, don't touch it. We see so many beautiful actresses. After they depart, we cannot see their faces, their bodies also. The beauty of any person is not the external beauty, it is the internal beauty because of the presence of the soul. This shyness is a gift of nature of the fair sex, and it enhances their beauty and prestige, even if they are of less important family member. Whatever may be the state of woman, if that shyness is maintained, she can command respect. Automatically, the respect is demanded, comes it. At that time, Arjuna, the great warrior and the conqueror of this league, who is the intimate friend of the most beloved Supreme Lord, took up an umbrella which had made of which had a handle of jewels and was embroidered with lace and pearls. We can see the opulence of the Hastinapur. Uddhava and Satyaki began to fan the Lord with decorated fans, and the Lord, as a master of the Madhu, seated on his scattered flowers, commanded them along the road. It was being heard here and there that the benedictions being paid to Krishna were neither befitting nor unbefitting, because they were all for the absolute, who was now playing the part of a human. Krishna is playing the part of a human. So people are glorifying. Some benedictions were being given. Brahmanas were chanting mantras. So is it fitting or unfitting? The context is here. It is fitting because Krishna is playing the role of a human being. Krishna is the role of a cousin of a Yudhishthira. So we all know if our relative is in a higher position, when we go near them, we also get the similar respect. So similarly, Yudhishthira is having the highest position because Krishna is the cousin of Yudhishthira. He is getting the same benedictions because he is playing the role of a human being. So yes, it is fitting. At the same time, it is not fitting because Krishna is supreme. He doesn't want anything else. He doesn't want material blessings because he is the absolute truth. That's what is mentioned here. Benedictions are both fitting and befitting. The entire contradictions. There are so many contradictions. All the contradictions get resolved only in Bhagavan. Is Bhagavan having a form or not form? Is he Nirguna or Saguna? So Nirguna means no material qualities. So that when there is contradiction, third statement should come. The third statement is revealed by Acharyas. That is what gurus do. There are so many if you read any scriptures, there is contradictions. You cannot understand as contradictions. But the third statement should be given by Acharya. That is the importance of the guru. So Nirguna, no form means no material form. He is having form means he has a spiritual form. So Bhagavan doesn't have a material form like all of us, but he has a spiritual form. Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, he says, Mudas. What does Mudas think? That Krishna's form is like a human being. Actually, it is spiritual body. So that's what Prabhupada said. Material world, in our relative world, there is dualities. White is opposite conception of black. So we think that we are restricted. We have a form. If Krishna has a form, he is limited. We all think that. So people say that Krishna doesn't have a form because he is unlimited. So people don't understand this. But absolute person there is no duality. All the contradictions are, when there is a duality, there is a contradiction. There is a duality, there is a contradiction. But in absolute person, there is no duality. That's what Chaitanya Prabhu was saying. It is achintya, veda, aveda philosophy. Simultaneously oneness and difference. This is achintya. We cannot, by our own mental brains or mental minds, understand these contradictions, these things. Only Krishna, by mercy of Krishna, we can understand. So we are all striving for that mercy. So like, Krishna is a supreme proprietor, but he is a thief. He is Makkanchor. So people celebrate him as a Makkanchor. We cannot imitate that. If you do theft, you will be put inside the bars. If Krishna does, he is glorified with artis. So there is no duality in Krishna. There is no duality in Bhagavan. Absorbed in the thoughts of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, who is sung in the select poetry, the ladies on the roofs of all the houses of the Hastinapur began to talk of him. This talk was more attractive than the kings of the Vedas. And earlier, women were in the houses. They were not given the education. They were given the education of how to maintain the family, yes, some Sastric knowledge by people who are in the homes. That their talk are about Krishna are even higher than the Vedic Brahmanas chanting the Vedas. As you see in the example of Brahmana Patnis. The Brahmanas were doing yajnas, cowherd people have come asking alms from them for Krishna. Brahmana says, no, we are not going to give you. They went to Brahmana Patnis. Immediately they realized, oh, Krishna is asking. So they gave entire bhoga to Krishna. So such a woman is which is more glorious than any other hymns. If a child says Hare Krishna, that is the most important knowledge than the Vedic knowledge. Because ultimately the purpose of Vedas is Vedas Sarver Ahameva Vedyo. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. If anyone who is speaking Krishna Katha, whether it's imperfect, perfect, doesn't matter. If you speak Krishna Katha, that glorification is far more superior than the Vedic mantras. As good as you have chanted all the Vedic mantras. So anything sung in the praise of Lord is Shruti mantra. The ladies who are all absorbed in the thought and actions of the Lord develop the consciousness of Vedic people, child, women, all these people can get this knowledge. We are consciously practicing it, but we are not understanding the value which what we are holding it right now. What responsibilities we are holding. We are not aware of all those things. So Krishna is beyond the creation and dissolution. They said that here he is, the original personality of Godhead. As we definitely remember him, he alone existed before the manifest. This is what the ladies are speaking. Not Sutamarshi or Sutamarshi is repeating what the ladies were saying. So there are two types of initiations, which we all know. At the end of the Brahma's life, or after every 4 lakhs some years. At that time, Mahatattva and Jiva complete annihilation happens. This is high philosophy. So the ladies are talking about this Vedic truth. That implies they have heard from an authoritative source. When we hear from an authoritative source, we can speak. An authoritative source is the only means of knowing about transcendental subject matter. Definitely, no alternative. There is no alternative. Can I get this knowledge outside? No. We have to follow the parampara. When we follow parampara, we will become perfect. That's what it is. The personality of Godhead, again desiring to give names and forms to his parts and parcels, living entities, placed them under the guidance of the material nature. By his own potency, material nature is empowered to recreate. These few verses are in detail explained in second chapter of Bhagavatam. Entire second chapter is about creation. That these ladies are speaking the second canto of Bhagavatam. What is it? What are they speaking? There are two types of living entities. One is Nitya Siddhas and another is Nitya Padas. The Nitya Siddhas or Nitya Muktas, they are eternally liberated souls. Like Parikshit Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Acharyas. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, all those people are all Nitya Muktas, eternally liberated. They are engaged in the loving service of the Lord. So what does they do? Why they come here? Not to enjoy their karmas, not to suffer the karmas. They wanted to engage us in the service. The service of Krishna. The entire Mangalarti is about what does these Nitya Muktas are doing. So what does Nitya Baddhas has to do? What is our condition right now? We are eternally conditioned souls, interested to external energy for rectification, forgetful of relation with the Lord as parcels, busy making plans. How can I be happy in this material world? This is our. I purchase plots here, happy. I got promotion, happy. If I get money, I happy. So we are all busy in these material plans. Hare Krishna, am I audible to all of you? Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Ramred. So I'll try my end to raise my voice. So this Nitya Baddhas, eternally conditioned soul, think busy. We are all busy making plans for our happiness, but we are not going to get there. So that's what he said. Bhuya word. Bhuya means the cycle of creation, maintenance, and destruction. The entire cycle of creation is happening because there are Nitya Baddhas. There are always conditioned souls who continuously falls up and down. That is what these ladies are saying. This entire creation is there because of this Nitya Baddhas. So to revive his consciousness, the revealed scriptures are also created by the Lord. Krishna is giving the manual. We are supposed to do that. In an organization, we have certain manuals. We can follow the rules and regulations. Follow the rules of the state. Similarly, the rules of this entire material world is given by Bhagavatam. So in Bhagavatam. So this Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam are the rules and regulations, manuals which we all have to follow. Here is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose transcendental form is experienced by the great devotees who are completely cleansed of the material consciousness by dint of rigid devotional service and full control of life and senses. And that is the only way to purify the existence. So these ladies are saying, what is the way of purification? Only the way of devotional service. Is there any alternative, convenient way? Give some donation, you are liberated? No. We have to do service. But we are anukulena Krishnanu Bhakti Ruttamam. Whether we like it or don't like it, whether it is difficult or easier, we all have to do the devotional service. Then slowly the love comes and it is to our stage. Only the great devotees of the Lord who are able to clear the mind of all materialists by rigid devotion can experience the Lord. We have to practice bhakti and remove all the anarthas, then only we can associate with him. So, like Jitendriya says, one who should conquer the senses. We have to control the senses. They're like Vishwamitra Muni. He could not control his senses. He called to pray for Menaka. But on the other hand, Haridas Thakur, though prostitute came to him, he was not deviated. Why? Because he is completely in the devotional service. But Vishwamitra Muni was not. So when we are in devotional service and we are controlling our senses, so we cannot make senses. Controlling the senses means purifying the senses. Controlling it means purifying the senses. Do everything for the service of Krishna, not for myself. If I eat, it should be Krishna Prasadam. If I have to talk, it should be Krishna Kada. If I have to hear, it should be Krishna Kada. This is what purification of the senses mean. So when the senses are engaged in the more attractive activities, there is no chance of being attracted to any inferior attachments. Oh dear friends, here is that very personality of Godhead whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of the Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he who only who creates, maintains, and relates in material world. So glorification of Krishna. Whatever activities Krishna is done, that is Bhagavatam. Activities of Krishna, loving exchanges of Krishna and his devotees is Bhagavatam. All the Vedic literatures are glorifying the greatness of Krishna. That is confirmed in the Bhagavatam as well. The Vedanta Sutra or Upanishad, there is only one hint. There is only a hint of confidential parts. All the Vedas doesn't give the details. It hints you. You want happiness, you want pleasure, go and read Bhagavatam. There's time and places where all the Puranas glorify Bhagavatam. Why is they doing? They're giving a hint. Better take the hint. So our society is filled of animal-like mentalities. Our leaders, our administrators are all animalistic people. Whenever there are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest modes of existence, the Lord in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power, truth positive, shows supreme special mercy to the faithful, performs wonderful activities, and manifests various tasks. So here Prabhupada explains about Ishwapanishad principle. So everything is under the propriety of Krishna. So renunciation means thinking that Krishna is the proprietor, I am not the enjoyer. So one doesn't have to encroach on the other's property. We are all caretakers. So when he descends, he exhibits superhuman activities just to prove that sometimes he comes as a human being, showing the human-like activities, but at the same time, he shows his external potencies. Supreme power, like killing of Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsha, Govardhan Hill, all these pastimes which a normal human being cannot do. So at the same time, he shows his potencies. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of the King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all beings, the husband of goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. So his birth is like appearance and disappearance of the sun. So sun doesn't appear or disappear; it moves one place to another. Similarly, Krishna is Surya Saman. He doesn't appear and disappear. He appears and disappears. He doesn't die or take birth. Dharma karma chaya medivi. One who understands this, appearance and disappearance, they will not take birth again. Simply by knowing the truth about lost birth, one is eternally liberated. So, reading Bhagavatam and hearing Bhagavatam is a most vital element for our bhakti. Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwaraka has defeated the glories of all heavenly planets and enhanced the celebrity of the earth. The inhabitants of Dwaraka are always seeing the soul of living beings, Krishna, in his loving feature. He glances at them and favors them with sweet smiles. Every one of us wants to go to heaven because of long life, enjoyments, all the things. But we sing song, Vrindavana Ramyasthan. So Vrindavan is Ramyasthan. Like Vrindavan, Dwaraka is also Ramyasthan. So what is it? Wherever Krishna is there, wherever Krishna performs his pastimes, that is the highest, even more highest than the heavenly planets. So when we always think about Krishna, when we all think about hear and speak about Krishna, our mind becomes Vrindavan. That is naturally the highest of the heavens. So the glories of the wives of the Lord. Oh friends, just think of his wife whose hands he has accepted. How they must have undergone woes, past fire sacrifice, and perfect worship of the Lord of the universe to constantly relish now or the nectar from his lips by kissing. The damsels of the Vrajabhumi would often faint just by expecting such favors. So our factual identity is we are the souls. Attainment of such stage of beautiful, pure spiritual life, the perfection. That is what our goal should be. That is the liberation. So in liberation, we express, get 5 loving exchanges, 5 rasas. Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. So here Prabhupada explains about two classes of devotees. There are two classes of devotees. One is Swakiya, other is Parakiya. Swakiya is the Dwarka queens, legal wives of the Krishna. That is one way. The second is Paramar love. Krishna likes that Paramar love, that damsels of Braja, the gopis of Braja. So they are, it looks like extramarital relationships, Paramar loving relationship, but it's on a transcendental level. That is Parakya devotees. The generally, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj says, we can be only in Swakiya Rasa. We cannot become Parakya. Parakya Rasa cannot be experienced in this material world. We will have only Swakiya Rasa. Had such things been mundane, if that is, these glories are mundane things, like material things, liberated souls like Sukadeva Goswami would not have discussed. If Rasalila were like normal, our loving relationship between a man and a woman, Sukadeva Goswami would not have touched that point. If Sukadeva has touched that means it is something transcendental, much more beyond our conception. The children of these ladies are Pradyumna, Samba, Amba, etc. Ladies like Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati were forcibly taken away by him from their Swayambara ceremonies after he defeated many powerful kings headed by Shishupala, and other ladies were also forcibly taken away by him after he killed Baumasura and thousands of assistants. All of these ladies are glorious. Here is explained how these different wives were accepted by Krishna. All these women auspiciously glorified their lives despite their being without individuality and without purity. Their husband, the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead, never left them alone at home. He always pleased their hearts by making valuable presentation. So here, important point is, by engagement, though whatever qualification we have, don't have any qualifications. We are fallen. We are patita patita. Krishna is patita pavan. We don't have individuality like these ladies. When we engage in the service of Krishna, all the designations are removed and pure souls, they become eligible to enter. So all the designations are removed. When we become pure, we go into the kingdom of God. While the ladies of the capital Hastinapur were greeting him and talking in this way, the Lord smiling accepted their good greetings and casting the grace of his glance over them, he departed from the city. So Krishna leaves the city. Maharaj Yudhishthira, although no one's enemy, engaged 4 divisions of defense, horse, elephant, chariot, and army to accompany Lord Krishna and the enemy of the Asuras or demons. The Maharaj did this because of enemy and also affection. So as a king, he is giving the protection. That's what is explained here. Out of the profound affection for Lord Krishna, the Pandavas who were of the Kuru dynasty accompanied him in a considerable distance to see him off. They were overwhelmed with the thought of future separation. The Lord, however, persuaded them to return home, and he proceeded towards Dwaraka with his companions. O Shaunaka, the Lord then proceeded towards Kurujangala, Panchala, Surasena, the land of Bank. So here entire place from Hastinapur to different areas, Saurashtra till Dwaraka are mentioned. After crossing these provinces, he gradually reached the Sauvira and Abhira provinces. Then west of this, he reached Dwaraka. They're giving the route map of Krishna's chariot. On his journey through these provinces, he was welcomed, worshipped, and given various presentations. In the evening, in all places, the Lord suspended his journey to perform evening rites. So similarly, again, Krishna is setting an example through his own actions. Lord's actions are observed. He also observed the religious principles regularly. Lord has observed the regular principles. His devotees are doing regular principles. Then what is the point of renunciating the regular duties? 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita says, you should not renunciate your activities. You have to perform As long as we have this body, whatever actions we have to perform must be performed. Krishna is also saying, following that, and we also have to follow it. So people speculate that Lord is under fruitive actions. So Lord is bound by karma. Lord is bound in the Maya. This is Mayavadi philosophy. Dry speculations doesn't work out. So what is the refutation over here? Lord is absolute and doesn't depend on good or bad. It doesn't depend on good or bad for him. The reason is till he does everything so that others may follow. Only reason why he is following this. Morning Sandhya Vandana, all these things. So that he is setting example for us to follow. Whatever duty we have to follow. His acts of evening prayer, as stated herein, must be followed by the living entity. This is the verdict of the Maharshi, etc. But it is not possible to follow his mountain lifting or dancing. So we all want to follow Krishna. We want to imitate Krishna. Krishna also enjoyed girls. I also enjoy girls. No. We cannot imitate Krishna. If you want to imitate Krishna, lift Govardhan. We cannot. We cannot even lift the bed which we have. Forget about Govardhan. If we don't have, if we cannot follow, we should not follow the Rasalila dances. People mistake on all this perverted relations. So instead of how should we follow Krishna? Krishna is showing an example. Follow this regular duties. He gets up early in the morning. He does the chanting. He also read about himself. All these things. He milks the cow. He does household chores. He does the role of a king. So these are the things which we can follow. So by that example, what we have to do is regularly chant our rounds. Wake up early, read Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, associate with the devotees. These are supposed to be done by the devotees. What Sutta Maharshi and Prabhupada, all the acharyas are explaining here. So thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the first canto of the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Departure of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna. So at this point, I will open this forum for discussions. If I have spoken anything wrong or missed any point, please forgive me. In the small time, covering the entire chapter is difficult as we see. But here, the only aim is to make you aware that what is happening in Bhagavatam, what is there in Bhagavatam. So we have to do Swadhyaya as well. We have to go back and read the chapter, understand, hear lectures from Maharajas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Santosh Aditya Prabhuji, Anand Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for a wonderful lecture. Very nicely explained. I couldn't hear some parts of it. Forgive me for that. I had to drop my son for a class.
Yes.
But you might have done a very good job. I will hear the recording later, Prabhuji.
One has to do one's duty. That's what Krishna says here. There is no. Please don't apologize for that. That's what Krishna is also saying. We have to do our duties.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji Mataji, if you have any questions, comments, supporting statements, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Anand Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So much of preparation you have put in. It's very, very inspiring for all of us, Prabhu, and it was very, very clear to understand the examples also that you have used to connect it to real life. So it was very, very useful, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, sir. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Everything is prepared by Srila Prabhupada. Just I used my presentation skill, that's all. Everything is given by Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. I think it's already 9 o'clock. People have services outside. I think if there are no questions, we can end the session.
Yes, Prabhuji. Correct.
It's already late, I guess.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for your session. Once-
Kalpataruhisya, Kripa Sindhuveva, Pachidana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice lecture. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Saranya Mataji. Thank you, Ram Reddy Prabhu. Thank you, Poona Mataji. Thank you, Padmavati Mataji. Thank you, Sanjay Prabhu. Thank you, Sulachana Mataji. Thank you, Sagar Prabhu. Thank you, Ankit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Dhanavad Pranam.